This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, South Africa. Welcome to the Maasai Mara, the Mara Triangle. We are here with the Sausage Tree Pride. They are looking hungry. This is safariLIVE.
This is so exciting. We've managed to find the Sausage Tree Pride.
Look at this last dash.
This is amazing.
Look at that incredible strength.
20 seconds.
Here come the cheetah. Unbelievable stuff.
I'm just keeping my head on a swivel. You never know what's going to happen next in these situations.
Standing by.
Can you believe this?
Three, two, one. Live.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 4th episode of safariLIVE here on SABC3. My name is James Hendry, and last week I was, of course, sitting at Owino Private Care. No, it wasn't. I was here in the Maasai Mara with the Sausage Tree Pride. Now I am with the North Clan of hyenas, sitting just over there. Now, please do talk to us over the course of the next hour using the hashtag safariLIVE on Twitter. The reason I'm speaking so quietly is that there is a very newborn cub in this den, and we think that it belongs to a hyena by the name of Ilsa, and we're hoping it's going to come out. Now, we are coming to you live from the Maasai Mara in Kenya. There's the slightly bigger cub belonging to Anatolia. That's the hyena, the big hyena closest to us. And there's another little one inside there. So we're coming to you from the Maasai Mara in Kenya and, of course, the western fringes of the Greater Kruger National Park in South Africa. Look, we might be very lucky and see the tiny little one come out. We only discovered this little one yesterday. It would be very, very special indeed. Now, you are, of course, our most knowledgeable audience, being our South African audience, and it's such a great joy to be talking to you again from both locations. We'd love to have your questions and comments. You can send us your insults as well if you like. I can't guarantee that we'll read them all out, but maybe you'd like to send them through. So just to reiterate, this is the North Clan of hyenas. We've had a beautiful start to this week's show. Last week was an absolute cracker.
Last week on safariLIVE, I was up in the Maasai Mara with a possibly pregnant and very sleepy kinky tail of the Sausage Tree Pride. You met Brent, who watched a baby buffalo being dispatched by the happy zebra clan and then stolen by the sausages. Down in the Western Kruger, Jamie checked in on the cubs at the Djuma clan den, recovering from a devastating attack to Corky, the matriarch. Tristan introduced us to 12-month-old Princess Tlalamba hunting for her supper. And Sydney unravelled the dramas of Djuma's Owino Pride.
So those were some of the spectacular things we saw last week. Now, if you're wondering why this is in black and white, it is because we're using an infrared light. We're not shining artificial light on those animals, and so as far as they're concerned, they're standing pretty much in the dark. And it just reduces the amount of effect that we have on them, and they can behave in a totally natural fashion. And we're just watching that young hyena now suckling. It is very special. Now, a few months ago, in bright daylight, the migration was in full swing, and David Gatamba Gitu came across Kipuli, and he was having a little bit of trouble.
My name is David, and with me on camera is Manu. Manu, just hold on for your dear life there. We might be seeing a bit of a drama here between this male that's running here, which we call Kipuli, and he's running towards another young male there. And I don't know exactly what will happen. Let's just find out here. sorry if I keep bouncing you a bit, but I can read something going on. And the one in front is having a short tail. Now look at that. If we're going to stop there, just look at that. Just look at that. Just look at that. And I told you something going to happen. He's chasing them. We can hear all the growling. Just look at that. And they might have a fight here any time now. And the one that is being chased away has a half tail. And I think that one you see on your screen there was trying to come to this territory. The one behind it, we call him Kipuli, and he's getting this youngster out of his territory. Is a young male we have never seen before. So we're going to try and move forward. The impalas or the Thompson gazelles are also trying to run. Let's see if we're going to catch up with them again. How epic is this?
There are all sorts of extraordinary dramas that play out on a daily basis here in the African wild. You've only just started hearing about David's story of Kipuli and the young male, but now you're back live on Djuma Private Game Reserve in South Africa to hear a little bit more about this very special hyena. Now, my name is Jamie, and last week I told you that the matriarch of our clan, Corky, was attacked by a lion while she was here at this very den site. We have good news. This is her. Oh, look, there's a head poking out. This is her. She has returned to her little cub. She's feeding it now, and she has survived. Not completely unscathed. She has a nasty wound on her shoulder, but she's going to be absolutely fine. A lesson in resilience and the challenge that these animals face as they go through life out here, whether it's here in South Africa or in Kenya. There's so much to know about the amazing matriarch Corky, and so much we have to teach you about.
It has been over a year since we've had a den on Djuma. The dens give us huge entertainment and tremendous insight into the clan's dynamics. So you can imagine our joy a few weeks ago when we found Corky, matriarch of the Djuma clan and easily recognized by her sliced left ear, with a brand new cub. Although the cub resembles a miniature black bear, hyenas are more closely related to mongoose than any other carnivore. Corky's cub began exploring the outside world at just a few days old, but will remain close to the den for many months. The matriarch returns to suckle regularly, and with each feed, her little one grows in size and confidence.
And this is her, the extraordinary Corky, survivor of a lion attack and mother of one tiny little cub who at the moment is giving us a really intimate family view as it suckles. Oh, Mom's had enough. She's up. She's listening to the sounds. Cub's holding on. Now, CD, you want to know why don't the females hyenas compete for den space? The reason is that a hyena clan, even though they're not all related to each other, functions as a cooperative unit. So the advantages of having multiple females and adults around to help look after the cubs, to look out for danger, outweighs any competition for space. It's just that much safer for them to share the den so that their cubs can grow up and learn their place in the clan hierarchy. And hyenas are so phenomenally social. They have an incredibly complex social structure that the cubs need to grow up in a social environment in order to understand how it is that they fit in to the dynamics of the clan itself, whether they're high-ranking, low-ranking, or somewhere in between. Now, in this case, you are looking at the leader, the top female, the boss of the Djuma clan herself. And she's giving herself a jolly good bath. Now, who knows what the night will bring? The cubs should all come out soon. It's not just Corky's cubs here. There are other cubs as well. The other mother might return, and the only way you'll find out is to stay tuned after the break. Look at Corky's cub. Still trying to suckle. Sweet man. Mom, not ready for you to stand up. I wasn't done eating yet. Alrighty. So we're just going to test and make sure that everything is in sync. Apparently I might not be in sync. Hello. 1, 2. The words that I'm saying match the sound that's coming out in the shape of my lips as I'm talking. Would you like me to continue talking to camera first? I can continue to do so. Corky, stay. Don't you go anywhere. Don't you move. Don't you move. Stay. We're not done talking about you yet. Do you... Okay. Cool. We're going to see how this plays out. Let's go across to Sydney, who's done a marvelous job of sticking to Hosana like glue.
Welcome back. I am live here by the western side of the Greater Kruger National Park in South Africa. This is Sydney Fumurani Mikosi, and I am live by the western side of the Greater Kruger National Park. Please don't forget that this is an interactive activity. You can follow us on Twitter, #safariLIVE. I have got one of the famous leopard in the area by the name of Hosana, popular as the Little Chief. So you can see that now Hosana is busy trying to have something to eat. He has been here for the couple of days. It has been 3 days now. There has been 2 dead nyalas where he is at the moment, and there is quite a lot of meat available for him. He's trying to concentrate from the surrounding, because when there is food available on the ground, so you can see that he's trying to concentrate on the surrounding, because the hyenas sometimes they do come here and engage on a competition with him. So you can see that no one is around at the moment. Maybe his ears are telling him the hyenas are on their way. So this meat, I've been here late in this afternoon, and earlier I saw that the meat was left on the ground unattended, and none of these other big predators came here to feed. Welcome back. I am Sydney Fumurani Mikosi, and I am live from the western side of the Greater Kruger National Park, Sabi-Sands Juma Game Reserve. I am right here by this very spectacular evening with one of the leopards by the name of Hosana, who is one of the popular leopards in the area. Hosana is having something to eat tonight here on the ground. Mostly, this kind of predators, when having something to eat, they normally take it up into a tree in order to avoid the other competitors to deprive the meat. So now, I want us to learn more about the technicalities and the intelligence of this cat during the hunting activities.
The dry season is tough for herbivores and boon time for predators. Hosana, despite his lack of experience, figured out that all he had to do was lurk near the water, and his meals would come to him. It took a little trial and error, but eventually the duiker population began to take a hit. Time after time, he positioned himself in the bushes, and despite his lacking the patience of an adult, the isolated water drew in endless opportunities for practice. He even had success in the middle of the day, with prey too young and naive to check for danger before drinking. Hosana learned to hoist his prey right back when he killed his very first monitor lizard, and those early lessons have helped keep his meals away from thieving scavengers.
Sana is one of the very skillful cats, and he is always using the water points as a central point of attraction for the prey to come and drink. He is relying on his rosette spots, the beautiful spots that normally camouflage him with the surrounding in order to surprise the predators, in order to surprise the prey. So if you look at these spots, you can see they look like roses. So the name rosette derived from the design of the spot, which is more like a rose flower. So now let's cross over to the Maasai Mara, where James is having a lovely hyena sighting.
We've moved and we've come to introduce you to Waffles. There she is. You've seen her in some of our pre-recorded clips, and that is the very famous and aging matriarch of the North clan of hyena. And she's got 2 little cubs there with her. There are 3 there, not sure who the third one belongs to, and that other hyena you're looking at is Anatolia. She led us over here, and there is Waffles and her little ones. And I'm just going to be quiet because they're making lovely noises. This is fascinating because you can see very clearly that the one on the right has got what looks like a penis. It's not a penis, it's a pseudo-penis, and it's what gave rise, of course, to the misconception that hyenas are in fact hermaphrodites. They are not, but the females have this pseudo-penis which makes them look like males. And in fact it's a fascinating piece of equipment through which they actually have to give birth. Now, I think that you should all send me a one-word tweet to describe not what you think of their hermaphroditic qualities, but rather the sound of hyenas in the night. So using the hashtag safariLIVE, send me a one-word tweet that tells me what hyenas in the night makes you feel. I'm going to say it makes me feel at home. Now, they're a little bit uneasy here. And there were 2 male lions here earlier today, and I think one of them was the male that Kipuli was having trouble with.
This is Kipuli. For those who have never joined us before, we're in the Mara Triangle in Kenya, and this particular male lion, we call him Kipuli. Earlier, there was a big drama here when he was chasing off another younger male out of his territory, and I have guessed the chase was about 2 miles long. My guess is, and we agreed with Manu, the youngster male there was a nomadic one, and this happens once in a while nomadic lions will keep moving from one area to another. But of course, lions being very territorial, this particular area here is manned or controlled by Kipuli. He's always having another younger male with him. And what he just did, sorry about my head, is just to show the nomadic lion, get out of here. We're not surprised that we see or we hear many times happening, and Kipuli has just done that, and now he's a happy male heading back to his core area where he lives after doing such a wonderful job. So what happened there, sorry about my head, look at how majestic that boy is. Sorry, Kipuli, we're on your way, and look at him there. Hi, Kipuli. How are you, Kipuli?
And welcome back live to the Mara Triangle up here in Kenya. We are with a beautiful male lion. His name is not Kipuli. He is a coalition of the Owino Pride and another coalition nearby, and also competing with the same pride as Kipuli has been. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Steve, and we are with the Sausage Tree Pride still. They are all scattered around us over here. There's 2 small cubs there, which are not related to this individual lion here, which is very, very interesting because male lions generally kill the cubs of other males, and Kipuli is potentially the adult male of the cubs in the pride at the moment, and there are 2 sets, about 4 months old and about 3 months old, somewhere around there, and only 2 of them were visible just before. The lions have started to get up and slowly start moving. There's a few wildebeest on the other side of this drainage sort of depression that this male lion with his very full belly is kind of looking in that direction. So we're going to see if we can keep up with him, or at least with the pride, who are scattered around us. And if they all cross this drainage line, well, we're going to have to move on that way. Well, it's not only lions that are nocturnal up here in the Mara. Down in South Africa, Brent has found one of the cutest nocturnal animals around.
Indeed we have. It's a tiny little South African galago. As most of you know him, is a bush baby. Isn't he just adorable? He's just woken up. He's busy grooming and cleaning himself. And what? Oh, look at him. He's peeing on his feet. He is urinating on his feet right this very instant, just so you can see how he marks territory. So how they mark territory, they move around, they'll urinate on their feet, and they will leave that scent where they bounce around in the bushes. By the way, my name is Brent Smith, and it's so wonderful to have you on a live African safari. And of course, it's not always about the big hairies and scaries, although I am looking for one. I'm looking for the Duke of Djuma, who you have met before. His name is Tingana, and we had footprints of him in this area. And, oh no, he's still there. We just saw a flash of his eye in our infrared light. There he is. So bush babies live in small little family groups, and at this time of the evening, oh, there he goes. Oh, he's stretching, getting ready for a busy night hunting insects. So these, whoop, look at that jump. Oh, look at him go. He's so quick. There he is, hiding just below. And you can see how they adeptly move through the thickest acacia thicket possible. Now, where's he gone? I can just see his tail. There's his tail. Isn't this incredible? And that's the wonderful thing about having this equipment, these infrared lights being out after dark, because 80% of the more interesting nocturnal mammals only come out after dark. And I'm not talking about lions and hyenas. I'm talking about honey badgers and civets and genets. But I'm going to keep searching around this area. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to find you some of those nocturnal wonders. Who knows, we might even find one of the rarest small cats here, a serval or a caracal, or maybe an African wildcat. But of course, if we stumble across a leopard, I'm not going to complain. So you're going to have to come back in a short little while to see what other wonders are out here in the African bush, because you never know what you're going to find next on a live safari. Hello everyone. Yes, my leopard luck continues to be absolutely horrific. And Jamie found one single track, or it looks like Tingana, coming in this direction. And we've been going slowly, stopping, listening, because if he's not on a kill, we know how vocal old Tingy likes to be, shouting about. So hopefully he's moving towards Treehouse Dam. Bye-bye.
Hello everyone and welcome on board. It is a beautiful day here in the Maasai Mara, and I've got lucky. We've caught up with the Owino Pride of lions, and these are the two lionesses that lead the pride. They've given birth to two different sets of cubs. Now, just to remind some of you, this pride lost their youngest 6-month-old cub midway through last year, and basically since then we've been following their lives as closely as possible, and it's gone something a little bit like this.
Soon after the blonde cub's disappearance, the rest of the Owinos vanished for months. Finally, they reappeared in a waterlogged area of long grass, and thankfully, all 3 remaining cubs were healthy. The youngsters are now well over a year old, still dependent on their mothers for food and lessons. The young male is now as big as his older cousins, and his emerging mane, scraggly as it is the same blonde as his lost sister. The lionesses work hard to sustain their young pride, and they aren't always successful. But often they are, and the youngsters learn with each hunt. They will soon be able to contribute to the hunting effort and assert their place in the hierarchy of the Mara wilderness.
How awesome was that? And who knows, hopefully in the next few minutes we're going to get to see the cubs fighting with their mothers for another meal. This time it'll be a lot bigger. The reason being is that these lions have found some possible prey. Some giraffe, possibly one of the most difficult prey items for them to bring down out here. I guess maybe elephants and buffalo are also up there, but you get the point. It's not easy for these lions to bring down an animal that big. It's also dangerous for them. And it's just 2 lionesses that are experienced hunters, one of which, the pale lioness, is perched up on this termite mound. She's trying to work out who the best option is out of that journey of giraffe. I haven't noticed any youngsters, but we have seen this same lioness chase fully grown giraffe before in the hope that she'll be able to trip them up. So we're going to sit tight, not go anywhere, and we'll be sure to call you back as soon as she gets a bit closer.
Welcome back live, everybody. These hyenas are now right next to the car, sitting right next to me. My name is James Hendry. Please talk to us using the hashtag safariLIVE on Twitter, as Marcy just has. She says the sound of hyenas in the night is mesmerizing. It most certainly is mesmerizing, as are these magnificent creatures. I bet many of you who've seen hyenas before never thought you'd describe them as cute. But how you could describe these as anything else, I'm not sure. Now there, Waffles is either suckling one of her own or greeting one of the other cubs. 2 of these are hers, one of them is not. I don't know who the other one belongs to. It must be another dominant female, or she wouldn't be around Waffles' very dominant cubs. We don't know if Waffles' cubs are male or female yet. I think, having just had a look at their undercarriages, that they're probably 2 little brothers, which means, well, she still doesn't have a female heir. Now, the ground around here is very thick clay soil, and when the long rains come, it can inundate, and the dens certainly can flood. But over at Djuma, the dens are very different.
The spotted hyena is one of the most versatile of Africa's carnivores. They are able to take advantage of a multitude of different habitat types. The landscapes of the Western Kruger and the Mara Triangle are nothing alike, so the hyenas of each area must occupy completely different homes. In the rich black soils of the Mara, the clans den in secret burrows beneath the long grass. When the storms dump their life-giving loads, the tunnels, while safe from predators, can become inundated. In the Western Kruger, termite mounds rise out of the sandy granitic soils. Once invaded by aardvark, they are the perfect shelter for vulnerable hyena cubs, hard as concrete and dry for the most part. Hyena mothers will move their dens from time to time, often as a result of crowding or unwanted attention from other predators. Subordinate females normally feed away from the den, bringing nutrition to their cubs as milk. Dominant mothers and cubs will monopolize any takeaway meals. Dens are unique havens of safety and hubs of social activity for one of Africa's most complicated carnivores.
Whether it's the hyenas in the Mara or here in the Greater Kruger, they hold the most amazing fascination. And where else can you watch a hyena cub suckling live in such an intimate manner? Our Corky has just got up and moved right up close to our vehicle, showing an exceptional amount of comfort with us moving around in her space. She's actually moved even closer to us. It's really very special. Now, Lauren has an interesting question about Corky's injury. Lauren wants to know if another hyena would potentially try a coup with a Corky injured. And I don't think so, Lauren, although it is a possibility. It does happen within hyena clans that low-ranking individuals rise up. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that scorpion. Well spotted. Senzo, my cameraman's just spotted a scorpion wandering along behind Corky. It looks as though it is going to go straight towards the den. How amazing is that? The things that we see out here, these nocturnal creatures. I hadn't even finished answering the coup question. I don't think that there will be a coup. I don't think that any of the hyenas are brave enough to tackle Corky. She's not that badly injured. She's not even walking with a limp, although that wound is deep. It's on her right-hand sides. Now, there's all sorts of dramas that play out with dominance and access to food and territories, and of course, the right to mate with a female.
I'm trying to imagine there might be a very big drama here as this male lion is walking towards this pair of lions that are mating, because the one walking with a bigger man, we call him Kipuli, and these two have been mating since morning, and something gonna happen here. It might be very dramatic. This is a younger male, and I think is a nomadic male that does not belong to this particular area. He just came in the other day. He doesn't look very familiar to me, and this female here might be torn between the two. Now let's see what might happen if the male that's bigger comes much closer. This youngster, if you look at him, he doesn't have as big men as I said earlier, but look at his muscles, very well built. Alright, you can hear the young one growling to the bigger one here. So this is Kipuli, and he has been in charge of this territory for a very long time. But now the ball game might change anytime now. And in the center of all this, it's the female here. Kipuli is maybe choosing not to fight as yet, but who knows what will happen.
So I've got Hosana now trying to hunt a scrub hare. You can see he is now lying down somewhere here. I can see that this cat might surprise us this evening. Look at that. He's very much settled and is concealed. The scrub hare is not going to pick him up. Anything can happen at any time here. Look at that. You can see his concentration that he is about to do something here. So this cat, they normally rely on concealment. They are one of the sit and wait predators. While we are waiting to see what is going to happen, don't go anywhere. We will be back right now. So you can see that he's still very much settled at the moment, but if you look at how he's positioning, you can see that he's just about to pounce at any time. So I can't see the scrub hare where we are at the moment, but I can see that he is looking at something. I'm not too sure if the scrub bear already picked up his presence, but how he was hiding there to try and conceal himself against those trees, I could see that here anything is going to happen. So it seems like he lost interest at the moment, although his positioning is still suitable for jumping. So you can see that these cats, when they're hunting, they don't want to chase an animal. They always make sure that the energy is conserved. I can hear something breaking the branches. So I'm not too sure if it's the elephant or any other big animal. So I've just picked up the branch breaking. So I can't hear it anymore. Maybe it's a branch falling from the tree, hitting other branches on the ground. As at the moment, the branches are very much dry. So you can see that the mouth is open all the time because so you can see that the ears are moving all the time. So the ears, together with their binoculars eyes and the whiskers, helps them in order to read what is happening in the surrounding. So there's too much wind coming from that direction. Wind is on his favor at the moment. You can see that he is turning the head very quickly and swiveling the ears. So the eyes of the predators are right on top so that they can be able to lower the head and still maintain focus. So you can see that the scrub hair is gone at the moment. He is not up to the scrub hair anymore. He is looking now at the other direction. Welcome back. I am still live from the western side of the Greater Kruger National Park, Savisen's Juma Game Reserve, and I am still here with Hosana, who is now trying to hunt a scrub hare. These kind of predators, age, it doesn't matter. To them, age is just a number because they see that the scrub hare, you can see that they're very small in terms of the size. They don't mind about the size at all. So now I want us to have a better view of this animal from the FLIR thermal camera. So where you are seeing that the color is much more yellow, it means the temperature on this animal is much very high. You can see between the legs looks very yellow and on top of the ears. But the surrounding is very much dark at the moment due to the fact that the temperature of the animal versus the temperature of the surrounding is completely different. So you can see that the red color as well, it shows that the other parts of the body are not as warm as the ears and the front of the face. During the course of the year, a friend of mine, Scott, has been following a pride of lions.
So everyone, this Owino lioness is still trying to work out where the rest of her pride is. The giraffe have clearly worked out exactly where she is, so she's got no chance in catching them now. And what an awesome scene that is. That giraffe's just making extra sure that this possible threat doesn't creep too close to it, and quite interesting how confident they can be as long as they know where the predators are. Now, it's not just today that this pride has not been lucky. It's been a tough week when it comes to hunting.
Even in the abundant Mara, times can be lean. The Owinos spend a lot of their downtime bonding. The small pride is completely reliant on each member, and so relationships must be constantly strengthened. The lionesses continue to teach by example, hoping their youngsters will soon contribute rather than just observe. The sea of red oat grass is long, making hunting very difficult. Hiding is easy for prey. Contrary to convention, the Owinos cover large distances in the heat of the day, searching for meals secreting in the grass. Here, the taller topi spotted the hungry cats early and bounced off through the waving greenery, leaving the lions to continue their hunt, no doubt looking forward to a time of shorter turf.
Well, shame she's still not had any luck finding the pride, but as you can see, it's definitely the mothers who are leading the charge when it comes to the hunting. And how awesome is this? She's coming right past our vehicle. Take a closer look here. Absolutely awesome stuff.
Welcome back live up to the Mara Triangle, and we are still here with the Sausage Tree Pride and that Owino Pride that you were watching just before. They are actually a breakaway from the Sausage Tree Pride, and just a couple of members there, just 2 adult lioness in that pride, where this one has got 5, and that is actually behind me is Kinky Tail, who is leader of this pride, probably well, she's the oldest female, and most likely, have a listen, she's about to call. She's about to call. I need to move back. Sorry, folks. There you can see the beautiful kink in her tail, makes it very easy to identify her. She is, we believe, most likely pregnant. The one male that you saw with us not so long ago, the 2 of them are actually hiding here in the thickets, but we spent some time with her and been mating with the both of them. Ashley, let me just reposition and I'll answer your question. You want to know what the lionesses do with the cubs when they're hunting? Well, what often happens is they'll move off into an area to go hunting, and they'll find a nice sort of sheltered spot, be it a little drainage line, a rocky outcrop, some form. Have we lost her? Where's she gone? She was right here. There you go. Got her. There we go. So Ashley, what they'll often do is, and we don't really see the behavior happening, you'll see the lionesses will get up and start moving in sort of a line, and they'll get to some form of area that the lioness feels safe is a good spot to sort of secret the cubs away. She'll give them a bit of a look, a bit of a snarl, and they'll know here's time to sit down and to be very quiet, and they'll just go and hide in just some very long grass, generally in a drainage line where there's some trees, some rocks, somewhere where they can hide away. And the reason why they like to hide is because of, not just because of predators, but also because of other males. And when it comes to males, male lions, well, the biggest thing in their life is fighting over females.
Well, it's getting exciting here, and we got 2 males. We had the bigger male, which is Kipuli, and is now dealing with a younger new male, which we think is the nomadic male. Kipuli, early in the morning, chased off the other younger male, and it was a very easy piece of work for Kipuli to do, but the male that remained back, Kipuli has come and is trying to deal with it. And I think Kipuli is getting his ground back.
Kipuli, at 7 years old, is a lion in his prime. He's not about to give up on his hard-won territory and the mating rights that go with it. Migration season brings plenty to eat, and a trail of opportunistic nomads. They're on the take for food and, if they're lucky, untended lionesses in estrus. Kipuli was the larger combatant, but the nomad, blinded by testosterone, was unbowed. An Owino lioness decided the warring males were pathetic. Her departure precipitated a final flurry of claws, dust and teeth.
We had a bit of scuffle between the two of them, and the lioness, instead of watching the two males fight, decided to take off. So on the heels of the female is Kipuli, and the young and nomadic male lion, there he is following, trailing number 3. I don't know what might happen here, but we just want to follow them so very closely and see what happens.
When it comes to intimidation factor, there is no question that a male lion is at the top of the predator list, whether it's with other male lions or with hyenas themselves. We are of course back live in the Greater Kruger with the wonderful Corky, who survived a lion attack, and you know that because we are watching it in black and white, because we're using infrared light in order to ensure that we don't in any way disturb the animals. Now, Lunga, you want to know how many hyena cubs a hyena can have. They can have up to 3 cubs, but it's very unusual because of the way in which they are structured. So the more common number is between 1 and 2 little cubs. In this case, a Corky only has 1 little cub, and we have recently confirmed that this little cub is a male. So, contrary to popular belief, the males are not all the bottom of the hyena hierarchy. They all inherit the status of their mothers. So what that means is that this little cub is actually the highest ranked member of this clan. Even at this tiny age, it's only about 2 months old. It is in fact the highest ranked member of the clan, and its interactions with the other members of the clan have been truly charming up until now. And that's the joy of what it is we do, because if you join us for the rest of the series, you'll get to watch these little cubs grow up, and that is a very special thing indeed. But for now, who knows what the evening will bring? Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few short minutes. I don't know where that scorpion went. I know, thank you, Kirst. I'm talking. I'm presenting. Am I not? Is this the Twilight Zone? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. This is just my regular chatty style for our internet viewers. Right, now, as magical as my apparently chatty style of internet show has been, I think we're going to send you across to James in the Maasai Mara, whose hyenas have made me very jealous.
Well, we have got pretty magical stuff going on here at the North Clan Den. It's great competition between the North Clan Den and the Djuma Clan Den. And we've just had Sawa arrive. Sawa is, of course, another dominant female of this clan, but of course all of you watching on the internet know that, don't you? Yes, you do. Okay, 40 seconds to TV, everybody. Nerve-wracking stuff. Adrenal glands working overtime. By the way, Bungay is making his world premiere on television today. I should probably give him a mention. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back live to the Maasai Mara and the North Clan Den, where the grizzled old matriarch, no one's going to call her an oil painting. Her name, of course, is Waffles. Strange name, but it's very appropriate, and her 2 little babies. So no oil painting she is. But I'm just going to go backwards a little bit now. I'm going to ask Bungay, who is making his world premiere today on television, if you can believe it, on camera today. I'm going to ask him to come back to me, and I'm just going to go a little bit backwards here because there's another dominant hyena. Her name is Sour, and Sour is quite possibly going to take over this clan when Waffles shuffles off this mortal coil. And that is because Waffles does not have a female heir, and this seems to be the next closest dominant female. There she is there. And she's also got a little cub. And we know it's her. Very difficult to see in this light, but she's actually got very reddish fur. She's a sort of red-headed vixen of the hyena world, if you like. Fantastic. All right, let's quickly go down south in the Maasai Mara where the Aldonyo Payaks are shouting.
Well, we are certainly with the dominant lioness here, Kinky Tail. We're still with her. The rest of the pride seemingly hasn't crossed that drainage line that we thought they might all follow her over. But all she's been doing since we followed her is calling and basically shouting to the horizons that this is her territory and this is her pride. And it's really awesome to spend time with these individuals. We were hoping that the rest of the pride was going to come out so you could get to see the youngsters. There are 2 sort of 4 or 5-month-old ones that we've been spending some time with this afternoon. We don't often spend time with cubs after dark. Generally they sort of hidden away somewhere as the adults go off hunting. And we initially thought the pride was going to get up and do something because just before the show started, this huge herd of zebra and wildebeest came marching not far from where the lions were. And they couldn't help themselves. They all poked their heads up and had a look. And, well, then they just turned around and walked the other way. And now it's the scraggly-eared Kinky Tail, who is on her own on the other side of this sort of drainage line, calling and calling. And every now and again, the rest of the pride actually assists in the shouting, because, you know, to demarcate a territory is very important if you want to not only sire some youngsters, but if you also want to keep other big dominant males away.
Welcome back. And what is happening, the female is much faster than the 2 males. Being much smaller, being much lighter, she happens to be much quicker on the pace. But none of them have stopped all this time. They have been running after each other. And to me, I think Kipuli might take the day and might take his place back. So they're slowing down now, and total confusion with the zebras, with the wildebeest, with the Thompson gazelles. So just gonna stop here and find out what will happen. The female, if you look carefully to the left, she's still moving, and again Kipuli has taken the pace again, catching up with the lioness. That's the lioness there. She's not stopping, but Kipuli hot on her heels. But of course, being heavier, being big in size, he is panting, because this morning he did about 2 miles non-stop, which is very unusual for a lion to do. In the circumstances he was in, he had no choice but to get rid of that other male, nomadic male. Now Kipuli is turning around. Maybe he's going to face off the younger male, which apparently is also turning on the other side, and it's now noticing it's got a long way to go, and we might be seeing a drama here. Let's just find out if this will happen. They just turn out very quickly, and Kipuli there goes, and ooh la la, I have to turn. Kipuli is on the race now. We are also on the race, and Kipuli is chasing the younger male, and there they go, and I think this will mark the end of these 2 nomadic males that did not belong here. And Kipuli is on the race. He is on behind him, and what is happening here, I think, as I said earlier, Kipuli is coming back very strongly and has shown he is in charge.
Extraordinary behavior that we get to witness out here, whether it's the lions or in this case the Juma clan. And now we have a visitor to the hyena den, and her arrival prompted Corky to start making low groaning sounds. Now I've lost track of Corky. She got up and moved, and her little cub ran towards the entrance to the den. Now that's just a natural instinct, a response to something coming towards the den that is not 100% sure what it is yet. But this particular hyena is of no threat to the little cub. It is a youngster and part of the clan itself, so it won't hurt Corky's cub, and in fact has spent quite a bit of time playing with the cubs. It's a youngster that is learning all about what it means to be a mother before she's ready to be one herself. And she's come and visited these little cubs and played with them regularly. Let's see if she's going to go and get the cub out. That's the entrance to the den site over there. Aww. No one want to play with you tonight. I love watching the goings-on of these hyenas. They have such a terrible reputation, a totally undeserved reputation. Now, Andy, you would like to know how old a Corky is. Now, Andy, as far as I remember, Corky was born in 2009, which would make her 9 years old. And she must actually be getting quite close to 10 at this point. So she is really quite an old hyena. They have an average life expectancy of in the wild of between 10 and 12 years. Her teeth are starting to yellow. You can see she has survived numerous battles in the past. And that is something that she absolutely has in common with a different matriarch halfway across the continent, with the best name of any hyena that you ever did meet. It's time to send you across to James in the Mara with the extraordinary waffles.
I must say we've picked some names for our hyena matriarchs. We didn't pick this one, Waffles. That was picked by the Michigan State University researchers who've been researching these hyenas for a very long time. We picked the name Corky for the matriarch you've been looking at, so Waffles and Corky. What a collection of names. Now we've got Waffles' 2 cubs here, suckling. There is the third one, whose mother we don't know. Sour's got one behind us as well, so there are lots and lots of babies here at the den. That's the mystery cub there. Don't know who he or she belongs to. I think it's a little he. And in fact, I think there are 3 little he's over here. Now, we are going to be off air for the next few weeks until the 23rd of December, and that is because the Mzansi Super League cricket is going to be on in our time slot. Never fear, we will be out, of course, filming all of the magic that happens in the Maasai Mara and the western fringes of the Greater Kruger National Park. So we will see you again on the 23rd of December. Thank you very much for joining us this evening, everybody. Thank you for your questions and comments. Thank you for not insulting us. We will see you on the 23rd of December. Bye-bye.